Tonight on the Muskie Daily, we'll be giving a look into what the new Concord Village Council discussed and voted on during the last meeting.
Several volleyball players receive all OAC honors.
And women's basketball tips off for the 2015-2016 season.
Welcome to the November 18th edition of the Muskie Daily. I'm Zach Vinsky.
And I'm John Webb. Today I'll be starting our news off with the Village Council's decision on refusing a beekeeper. New Concord Village Council held their monthly meeting on Monday, November 9th. And one of the main issues that was brought up was whether or not residents of the village should be able to keep bees on their property. Village Administrator Charlotte Colley said that in order for bees to be kept on private property, there would have to be amendments made to the zoning code for the village. When this issue was brought up, the zoning committee decided against making amendments to the zoning code, closing discussion on the possibility of keeping bees. The council meeting also discussed the hiring of a new part-time police officer who took the position after one of the former part-time officers moved up into a full-time position. Also, New Concord resident Matt Wood, who temporarily filled the position of operations manager, has permanently taken over the position. Wood stepped into the position after the former operations manager suddenly passed away over the summer.
Last night, the Pre-Health Club hosted Smiley Ties Without French Fries. Motivational speaker Chris Bowers came in and talked about ways students can improve how they see themselves. The title Smiley Ties came in reference to Bowers' experience in a diner where he was sitting and contemplating how to motivate people. Soon after, he started folding his menu into a paper tie, which he drew a positive reaction from the crowd. People who attended last night were given a smiley paper tie that they could pin to their shirt, and they could get a t-shirt with a smiley tie printed on it.
This year, two second-year Muskingum University volleyball players were given all-conference honors for their efforts in the 2015 season. Sophomore Taylor Fothery was named the All-OAC second team, while sophomore Taylor Matthews was named an honorable mention selection. Matthews now stands in 6th place all-time in assists in program history, even though her teammates knew without her knowledge.
Well, I didn't know that, but
no, I knew that.
No. I mean, it's an honor, and I only get assists if they get kills. So, I mean, it's really up to them if I 6th in assists.
Fothery needs 1,658 assists during the next 2 seasons to beat Jessica Gromes, who is number 1 in assists. Both Matthews and Fothery plan on returning next season as juniors to help attempt to lead the Muskies to the top of the OAC.
The Muskingum University Relay for Life team hosted a Protect Your Balls volleyball tournament on Friday, November 13th in the Recreation Center. The tournament was organized to raise money for cancer research. Participants were charged $5 or $30 for a team of 6 to 8, and all the proceeds were donated to the American Cancer Society. A total of 6 teams played in the tournament, and other individuals played and gave donations to the effort. Caitlin Lamb, a sophomore who helped organize the event, believes the event was a success in getting more members of the community involved in raising awareness and funds for cancer research. Pizza and snacks were also provided at the event, which Lamb's hopes will become an annual occurrence.
We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, I'll look at how Paris is recovering from the ISIS attacks.
And an update on the latest ISIS threats.
We have the music. We have the cameras. We have the talent. Orbit Media, where the magic happens.
On the story. On the quad. On the scene. This is the Muskie Daily.
8 people in total, 7 men and women, were detained in Wednesday's St. Denis raids. Paris prosecutor Francois Molin said Belgian state broadcaster reported that the woman who blew herself up during the operation is a cousin of Abdelhamid Abu Ad, the suspected ringleader in Friday's attacks in Paris. CNN's Poppy Harlow has more.
we're standing outside of Bogny Hospital. This is in the north of Paris, about 30 minutes from the center in Paris. This is where our affiliate BFM is reporting that 2 of the men arrested in those dramatic overnight raids were taken for surgery. Both of them with injuries to the arm, one of them a more serious injury. We know that in the mid-afternoon today that one of the men was escorted out of the hospital after surgery by armored vehicles, many police. And just trying to get in this hospital, you see people behind me being searched. Anyone that wants to get in there is searching. When we pulled up in our car, one of the police officers quickly approached us with an assault rifle and said we have to get out quickly, and the car had to keep moving. Security extraordinarily tight, and obviously right now what the focus is what information can they get from these 2 men who were arrested, because they could have critical information as to how big this web of terrorists is, potentially what their next plot may have been. Can they get them to talk? Again, one of those after surgery, those men arrested, leaving here escorted by police, the other one presumably still inside undergoing surgery.
Authorities say a drone fell out of the sky and crashed into a truck in New Jersey on Wednesday morning. The FBI and local police are investigating the incident, which happened on a road just outside this Phillips 66 refinery in Linden. Investigators say the driver of the truck apparently got out and had words with the operator of the drone, who took off. There are no federal guidelines to criminally charge anybody operating a drone, but Homeland Security officials say anything becomes a concern, especially if they believe anyone is surveilling an area. Right now, there is no credible threat to New Jersey.
The Paris terror attacks led an Ohio middle school to cancel a class trip to Washington, D.C. About 250 8th graders were scheduled to travel to Washington this week, but the school announced on Facebook that the trip would be postponed due to specific threats against our nation's capital. The school said it made its decision after what it called careful consideration. Parents were mixed about the postponement.
I mean, their first thought is to keep our kids safe, so I would agree that that's probably the safest bet.
It's a great learning opportunity for the kids that hopefully they're just postponing, and they'll get a chance to go later on in the year.
The FBI says there's no specific or credible terror threats to the U.S., but a recent video purportedly from the terror group ISIS threatened an attack on Washington. The school did not say when the trip will be rescheduled.
We'll be back after a short break to give you the weather forecast for New Concord and the surrounding areas.
And later, an update on Fighting Muskie sports action. Stay tuned.
We have the music. We have the cameras. We have the talent. Orbit Media, where the magic happens.
On the story. On the quad. On the scene. This is the Muskie Daily.
Welcome back for your local weather forecast. Tonight, expect showers with a 100% chance of rain and a low of 52. Tomorrow, the rain will be gone, but clouds will still be around with a mostly cloudy day and a high of 59 degrees. Tomorrow night, the clouds will be gone, leaving a clear sky and a low of 33. Now for a look at your extended forecast. The Muskie women's basketball team tipped off their season Tuesday night with a home loss to Kenyon 66-62. The Muskies held the lead for most of the first 3 quarters before surrendering the lead late in the contest. Head coach Beth Fox thought the ladies played well early, but lost their edge in the final quarter.
I think we stopped doing the hard things. I think we stopped going off in the defensive rebounds. We gave up a couple and one scenarios that did not help us. We knew who their shooters were. We had them defended, just not as aggressively as we would have wanted them to. And then we didn't convert on some easy looks there.
Olivia Bazanson led the way for the Muskies with 22 points, shooting 6 of 8 from three-point land. Muskie men's basketball player Jalen Page was named OAC Player of the Week last week. Page made his collegiate debut in the Muskies' first game of the season against Waynesburg. He scored 24 points and dished out 7 assists to help lead the Muskies to a thrilling 90-83 overtime win over the Yellow Jackets. He followed up his impressive debut with a 13-point, 4-assist performance in the Muskies' second game, a 102-94 loss at Oberlin Tuesday night. That's Muskie loss against Oberlin featured a tale of 2 halves for the men. The Muskies entered the halftime breakdown 49-23 as both Jalen Page and Josh Glass went scoreless in the first half. The Muskies tried to storm back in the second half, outscoring Oberlin 71-53, but fell just short of completing the comeback. Page scored all 13 of his points in the second half, while Cody Saylor built up to his team-leading 17. The Muskies have started their season at 1-1 and will return to action against Franciscan Saturday at home. WMCO will have the call with pregame starting at 2:30. For more on sports, tune in to WMCO 90.7 for the Muskie Sports Blast every weekday night starting at 8 in the evening. We'll be back after the break.
This is Will Mullins, and I want to encourage you to watch Chapel on Orbit TV Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. Thanks.
Find out what decisions are being made at Student Senate that could affect your campus organization by tuning into Orbit TV on Tuesdays at 11 in the evening, and again on Wednesday through Sunday at 10 in the morning and 6 and 11 in the evening.
There's still time to sign up for the opportunity to provide Christmas gifts for an area child that wouldn't be getting any otherwise. Gifts are due to the Student Life Office on December 7th. If you would like to help, please contact Penny Seelock or Alex Arnold as soon as possible.
Students who are graduating in December will soon be receiving an email invitation for the December reception. The reception will be held on December 12th at 10:30 in the morning.
The recyclable results are in from last week. First place is Finney Hall with a total of 37 pounds. Second place with a total of 23 pounds is Thomas Hall. Third place is Memorial and Moore Hall with 14 pounds. And in fourth place is Kelly and Patton with 13.5 pounds.
That is it for this edition of the Muskie Daily. To find out more from Orbit Media, make sure to pick up a copy of this week's Black and Magenta.
Interested in the Village of New Concord? Watch the New Concord Village Council meetings here on channel 96-204.
Have a great night, New Concord.